Hey everyone, welcome to Midnight Journeys. Tonight, we're diving into what it would feel like to wake up in a post-apocalyptic world and spend 10 days. Through immersive, imaginative narration, we'll explore whether survival is possible and what it truly takes to endure when everything familiar is gone. Picture this. You wake up choking on dust, not the cute, harmless kind that gathers on bookshelves. This is thick, ancient dust that tastes like decades of abandonment. Your head pounds. Your mouth feels like you've been licking concrete. The ceiling above you is wrong, cracked, water-stained with chunks missing. Vines snake through broken windows like nature's middle finger to human architecture. Then it hits you. The machine. That weird glowing thing on Dr. Chen's desk that you just had to touch. 1 second you're in 2024 procrastinating on grading papers. The next, you're here. Wherever. Whenever. Here is. Before we dive deeper into this nightmare, if you're listening and thinking, thank God this isn't me, do me a favour. Hit subscribe, like, and share. Here on this channel, we explore what it feels like to step into history's mysteries, science's wonders, and the hidden corners of our world. If you've ever wanted to drift into sleep while imagining yourself in another time or place, this is where that journey begins. So relax, stay with me, and let's continue. Day 1, waking up to empty. You push yourself up, joints protesting like you've aged 50 years in a blink. The lab looks like a post-apocalyptic movie set, except the smell is too real: mildew, rust, and something sweetly rotten you don't want to identify. Your phone, dead brick, the machine strapped to your back, humming like a smug refrigerator that knows it ruined your life but won't apologise. Outside the window, campus is a graveyard. Cars sit abandoned, doors hanging open like broken jaws. Trees burst through sidewalks. A Starbucks cup sits on a bench, so weathered it looks archaeological. No movement, no sound, just your breathing and that damned humming. You stumble into the hallway, throat burning with thirst. Emergency exit signs hang by wires. Posters on bulletin boards have faded to ghosts of their former selves, but one catches your eye. Day 217, no signal, no hope. Your stomach drops. Someone counted 217 days after. Whatever happened, then stopped. You do quick math. If this started recently, you're looking at late 2024, early 2025. But the decay says different. Years, maybe decades. Then you see it. A calendar in an office, pages yellowed but readable. April 2050. 26 years. You've jumped 26 years into a future that clearly didn't want visitors. The vending machines near the student lounge are mostly smashed, but miracle of miracles, one survived. 3 water bottles, 2 protein bars, pretzels that expired in 2039. You drink like you've never tasted water before. It's warm, tastes like plastic, and it's absolutely perfect. You try the machine again, press every button, shake it. Threaten it with greater profanity. Nothing. Screen stays black except for occasional flickers that might be hope or might be you losing your mind. Shadows grow long. In horror movies, people die when shadows get long. Time to move. The Student Union building stands like a concrete fortress. Fewer broken windows, solid doors. You climb the fire escape, legs shaking, lungs burning. The roof access door squeals open. Inside, furniture lies scattered like someone played Jenga with civilization and lost. You barricade the door, find a corner, and finally let reality sink in. You're alone. Not everyone went home for the weekend alone. Not last one at the party alone. Your last heartbeat in a dead world alone. If you scream, no one hears. If you die, no one mourns. You're a footnote in a book no one's reading. The loneliness hits different when it's absolute. It doesn't crash over you, it seeps in, cold and patient, filling every space hope used to live. You laugh. It sounds unhinged. Okay, you tell the empty room. Day 1 in the apocalypse, didn't die. Major achievement unlocked. You inventory your wins. Water, check. Food, check. Shelter, check. Sanity, pending. Tomorrow you'll scavenge more supplies. Maybe find clues about what ended the world. Tonight you just need to survive until sunrise. You lie down, machine humming against your ribs like the world's worst white noise machine. You brought me here, you whisper to it. You better have a return ticket or I'm turning you into a very expensive paperweight. Silence. Then the screen flickers. Just once. A triangle symbol appears and vanishes. Your heart hammers. Did it just respond? Is it listening? Is it mocking you? You close your eyes, exhaustion winning over fear. Tomorrow you'll figure out the machine. Tomorrow you'll be brave. Tonight you're just meat trying not to become dust. The last thought before sleep takes you. In 2024 you worried about deadlines and coffee getting cold. In 2050 you're grateful for stale water and a door that locks. Perspective's funny like that, except nobody's laughing. You wake up choking on dust. Not the cute, harmless kind that gathers on bookshelves. This is thick, ancient dust that tastes like decades of abandonment. Your head pounds, your mouth feels like you've been licking concrete. The ceiling above you is wrong-cracked, water-stained, with chunks missing. Vines snake through broken windows like nature's middle finger to human architecture. Then it hits you. The machine. That weird glowing thing on Dr. Chen's desk that you just had to touch. 1 second you're in 2024 procrastinating on grading papers. The next, you're here. Wherever, whenever here is. You push yourself up. Joints protesting like you've aged 50 years in a blink. The lab looks like a post-apocalyptic movie set, except the smell is too real mildew, rust, and something sweetly rotten you don't want to identify. Your phone? Dead brick. The machine strapped to your back, humming like a smug refrigerator that knows it ruined your life but won't apologise. Outside the window, campus is a graveyard. Cars sit abandoned, doors hanging open like broken jaws. Trees burst through sidewalks. A Starbucks cup sits on a bench, so weathered it looks archaeological. No movement, no sound. Just your breathing and that damned humming. Before we dive deeper into this nightmare, if you're listening and thinking, thank God this isn't me, do me a solid. Hit subscribe, like, share, whatever keeps you connected to other humans. Because where I am, connection is extinct, and I'd kill for a notification right now, even spam. You stumble into the hallway, throat burning with thirst. Emergency exit signs hang by wires. Posters on bulletin boards have faded to ghosts of their former selves, but one catches your eye. Day 217, no signal, no hope. Your stomach drops. Someone counted 217 days after whatever happened, then stopped. You do quick math. If this started recently, you're looking at late 2024, early 2025. But the decay says different. Years, maybe decades. Then you see it. A calendar in an office, pages yellowed but readable. April 2050. 26 years. You've jumped 26 years into a future that clearly didn't want visitors. The vending machines near the student lounge are mostly smashed, but miracle of miracles, one survived. 3 water bottles, 2 protein bars, pretzels that expired in 2039. You drink like you've never tasted water before. It's warm, tastes like plastic, and it's absolutely perfect. You try the machine again, press every button, shake it, threaten it with creative profanity. Nothing. Screen stays black except for occasional flickers that might be hope or might be you losing your mind. Shadows grow long. In horror movies, people die when shadows get long. Time to move. The student union building stands like a concrete fortress. Fewer broken windows, solid doors. You climb the fire escape, legs shaking, lungs burning. The roof access door squeals open. Inside, furniture lies scattered like someone played Jenga with civilization and lost. You barricade the door, find a corner, and finally let reality sink in. You're alone. Not everyone went home for the weekend alone. Not last one at the party alone. Your last heartbeat in a dead world alone. If you scream, no one hears. If you die, no one mourns. You're a footnote in a book no one's reading. The loneliness hits different when it's absolute. It doesn't crash over you, it seeps in, cold and patient, filling every space hope used to live. You laugh. It sounds unhinged. Okay, you tell the empty room. Day 1 in the apocalypse, didn't die. Major achievement unlocked. You inventory your wins. Water? Check. Food? Check. Shelter? Check. Sanity? Pending. Tomorrow you'll scavenge more supplies. Maybe find clues about what ended the world. Tonight you just need to survive until sunrise. You lie down, machine humming against your ribs like the world's worst white noise machine. You brought me here, you whisper to it. You better have a return ticket or I'm turning you into a very expensive paperweight. Silence. Then the screen flickers. Just once. A triangle symbol appears and vanishes. Your heart hammers. Did it just respond? Is it listening? Is it mocking you? You close your eyes, exhaustion winning over fear. Tomorrow you'll figure out the machine. Tomorrow you'll be brave. Tonight you're just meat trying not to become dust. The last thought before sleep takes you. In 2024 you worried about deadlines and coffee getting cold. In 2050 you're grateful for stale water and a door that locks. Perspective's funny like that, except nobody's laughing. Day 2. Shopping in the graveyard. Morning comes like a slap. Not gentle, not kind, just sudden consciousness and the realization that yesterday wasn't a nightmare. The concrete is still cold under your back. The machine still hums against your ribs, and the silence outside is still thick enough to choke on. Your body feels like it went 10 rounds with a garbage truck. Every joint screams when you move. Your mouth tastes like something died in it. Probably your hope for this being a weird dream. You sit up slowly, vertebrae popping like bubble wrap. The makeshift barricade held, nothing tried to get in. Whether that's good news or proof that nothing's left to try, you're not sure. First priority water. You've got 2.5 bottles left. At this rate, that's maybe 2 days if you're careful. The half-eaten protein bar in your pocket looks about as appetizing as cardboard, but your stomach doesn't care. You force it down, chase it with precious water, and try not to think about how many meals you've got left. Spoiler, not many. The machine gets your attention with soft beep. You nearly jump out of your skin. It's awake. The screen shows the same triangle symbol from last night, but now there's text underneath. Temporal displacement 26.3 years, location unchanged, power 12%. Oh, now you're chatty? You tap the screen, nothing. Press buttons, nada. 12% power. Great. You couldn't have mentioned that yesterday. The machine goes dark again. Helpful as always. You need supplies. Real supplies. Not vending machine scraps. Time to venture out. You strap the machine tighter to your back, using strips torn from a mouldy tablecloth. It's not comfortable, but it's secure. You crack open the door, peer down the stairwell. Empty. Just dust motes dancing in shafts of morning light. Beautiful and creepy in equal measure. Outside hits different in daylight. You can see the full scope of abandonment now. Weeds crack through every surface. Windows are dark caves. A stop sign has been swallowed by kudzu until only the S peeks through. Nature's reclaiming everything with patient determination. You wonder if this is what Earth looked like before humans showed up, or what it'll look like long after. The grocery store sits 6 blocks away. You remember shopping there last week, your week, 2024 week. Bought frozen pizza and energy drinks. Now you're hoping for anything that hasn't rotted into poison. The walk takes 20 minutes. Not because it's far, but because you stop at every corner, every shadow, listening for threats that never come. The only sound is your footsteps and the occasional groan of settling metal. The store's front is a gaping mouth of broken glass. Someone drove a car straight through the entrance. It's still there, rusted into abstract art. You climb over the hood carefully. Inside, the smell hits like a physical force. Decay, mould, something chemical and wrong. You pull your shirt over your nose and push forward. Most shelves are bare, picked clean in the early days probably, but people panic shop for fresh stuff: milk, bread, eggs. They forget about the boring aisles. You head straight for canned goods: jackpot, beans, corn, peaches. Some cans are bulging botulism bombs waiting to happen. You leave those, but others look intact. You load your backpack until it hurts to lift. The rice aisle yields treasure vacuum-sealed bags that could last decades if stored right. You grab 3 bags, tie them together with your belt. It's awkward, but you'll manage. Pasta's good too. Boxes of spaghetti that might taste like cardboard but won't kill you. You're shopping for survival now, not flavour. Water's the real score. Cases of it in the back storage area. Some bottles have turned green with algae, but most look clear. You crack one open, sniff carefully. Smells like plastic but not death. You drink deep, then immediately feel guilty. Every bottle matters now. You load what you can carry, maybe 15 bottles strapped and stuffed everywhere possible. You look ridiculous. You feel like a pack mule. You've never been happier about finding water. The pharmacy section is mostly ransacked, but you find treasures in weird places. Vitamins under an overturned shelf, iodine tablets for water purification, antibiotic ointment that expired in 2048 but probably still works. You pocket it all. Every little advantage counts when you're the last person at the world's worst party. That's when you see it. The electronics section, or what's left of it. Most devices are corroded beyond recognition, but there's a display of solar chargers that catches your eye. Old tech by 2050 standards, but some look intact. You grab 3, stuff them in your pack. Maybe they work, maybe they don't. But if they can give your time machine even 1% more power, they're worth their weight in hope. You're heading for the exit when you spot something that stops you cold. A skeleton. Just one. Slumped in the manager's office, still wearing a name tag. "Hi, I'm Derek. Happy to help." Derek's not helping anyone anymore. You stare longer than you should. This was a person. Had a life. Probably family. Now he's a calcium monument to whatever ended everything. You whisper, "Sorry, Derek," and keep moving. What else can you do? The trip back takes longer. You're loaded like a Sherpa climbing Everest. Every step requires concentration. The rice bags bang against your legs. Water bottles shift and dig into your ribs, but you make it. Up the fire escape, through the door. Dump everything in a corner and collapse next to it. You did it. Day 2 and you're still alive, still supplied, still absolutely screwed but with better inventory. You try the solar chargers immediately. 2 are dead. But one miracle of miracles shows a faint LED when you put it in the window. You connect the machine with a cable you found. Nothing happens. Then, so faint you almost miss it, the power indicator ticks up. 12% becomes 13%. It'll take forever to charge, but it's progress. The first real progress since you arrived in this dead future. As afternoon fades, you organise your haul, count calories, calculate water consumption. At minimum rationing, you've got maybe 2 weeks of food. Water for 10 days if you're careful. It's not enough. Not nearly, but it's better than this morning. You eat beans cold from the can. They taste like metal and survival. You've had worse meals, though you can't remember when. The machine flickers again as sunset paints the sky orange. New text appears. Temporal anchor searching. No signal found. Manual calibration required. You touch the screen and for the first time it responds. A menu appears. Options you don't understand. Parameters and physics notation that might as well be hieroglyphics. But it's interaction. It's hope. You spend an hour poking through menus, learning nothing but memorizing the layout. The machine wants something from you. Some kind of input or adjustment. You'll figure it out. You have to. Because Derek in his office reminded you what happens to people who give up. They become landmarks in someone else's survival story. Night falls like a curtain. You've barricaded better this time, added chairs to the door pile. Your belly is full of questionable beans. Your water supply is counted and secure. The machine charges slowly in the window, drinking sunlight like a digital vampire in reverse. Tomorrow you'll explore more. Maybe find better shelter. Maybe discover what happened to everyone. Maybe the machine will finally decide to be helpful. But tonight you're not just surviving, you're planning, learning, adapting. The apocalypse threw its worst at you and you went shopping. Take that, end of the world. You're not going down without a fight, and definitely not without dinner. Day 3 signals in the storm. Rain wakes you at 3 a.m. Not gentle patter, this is apocalypse rain, hammering the roof like nature's trying to punch through. You jolt upright, immediately checking your supplies. Everything's dry. The roof holds. Water's already pooling near the windows and you realise your biggest oversight. You never checked if this place floods. The machine glows faintly in the darkness. 19% power now. The solar charger worked through yesterday's sunshine, but with these clouds, you're looking at a long dark pause in progress. You disconnect it, wrap it carefully in plastic you scavenged. Can't risk water damage to your only power source. By dawn, the rain's turned the streets into rivers. Brown water rushes past carrying debris, branches, unidentifiable junk, probably Derek's hopes and dreams. You're trapped. No supply runs today. Just you, your beans, and a building that's starting to smell like wet dog. Water. Everywhere water, but none of it safe to drink. The irony's not lost on you. You set up a collection system using a tarp and empty bottles. Rainwater's probably cleaner than whatever's in the pipes, but you'll boil it anyway. Can't be too careful when you're humanity's last representative. No pressure. The morning passes slowly. You explore your shelter properly for the first time. The student union has offices, conference rooms, even an old radio station. 1E91.5, the voice of campus. The equipment's dead, but you find something useful. Maps, detailed campus maps showing every building, every underground tunnel. The tunnel system makes you pause, shelter from weather, multiple exits, worth investigating when the rain stops. In the station manager's desk, you find a hand crank radio. Your heart nearly stops. You crank frantically, static exploding from the speakers. You cycle through every frequency, AM, FM, shortwave. Nothing but white noise and the occasional electronic squeal. Still, you keep it. Static's better than silence. Lunch is cold spaghetti eaten dry. Sounds gross, tastes worse, but it's calories, and your body needs fuel. You've already noticed your clothes fitting looser. Stress and rationing are melting pounds you didn't know you could spare. The apocalypse diet not recommended, results too permanent. The machine draws your attention with a new message. Atmospheric interference detected. Temporal resonance unstable. You've learned its interface enough to dig deeper. New menus appear. Graphs showing wavelengths, frequencies, patterns that dance and shift. One pattern spikes whenever lightning flashes. Interesting. The machine reacts to electromagnetic activity. You file that information away. By afternoon, cabin fever sets in hard. You've counted ceiling tiles, 247. Organised supplies 3 times. Even tried teaching yourself to juggle with expired soup cans. Failed spectacularly. The rain continues, relentless. You understand now why solitary confinement breaks people. Is not the alone part, it's the endless loop of your own thoughts. You try the radio again, this time methodically. Every frequency holding for 30 seconds. Static, static, static. Then something, not words but a pattern. 3 short bursts, 3 long, 3 short, SOR. Your hands shake as you fine-tune. The pattern repeats, mechanical and precise. Not a personal automated beacon, but its signal. It's proof that somewhere something still transmits. The beacon comes from the east. You check your maps. That direction leads to the city proper. Downtown, hospitals, government buildings. If anywhere survived with backup power, emergency systems, it would be there. You mark the frequency, the direction. Tomorrow's destination, weather permitting. Evening brings a break in the rain. Just drizzle now. You venture onto the roof, breathing deep. The air smells like ozone and rot. The city skyline looks like broken teeth against grey sky. Some buildings show damage fire maybe, or just time. but others stand intact, waiting. The beacon pulses in your mind. Someone built that, programmed it, set it to run. How long ago? Are they still alive? Or is it just another ghost broadcasting to no one? You check the solar charger. The brief break in clouds isn't enough. Still 19% on the machine. You need full sun, need power, need answers. The machine's your only way home, but it's also starting to feel like a puzzle box designed by sadists. Every menu leads to more menus. Every option requires prerequisites you don't have. It wants calibration. Fine. But calibration to what? When? How? Dinner's a feast by apocalypse standards. Canned peaches that taste like sunshine and better times. You save the syrup, drink it slowly. Sugar's precious now. Everything's precious now. You're learning the calculus of survival, every decision measured in calories burned versus gained. Every action weighed against risk. It's exhausting being this careful. Night falls wet and heavy. You've moved your sleeping spot away from the windows, paranoid about leaks. The radio plays static, softly white noise to fill the void. Sometimes you talk to it. To yourself. To the machine. To Derek. Probably haunting that grocery store. Sanity's a resource too, and you're spending it freely. Day 3, you announce to no one. Still alive. Still alone. Still no idea what killed everyone. Theories include plague, war, environmental collapse. Really aggressive marketing campaign gone wrong. You laugh at your own joke. It sounds unhinged. You don't care. Tomorrow I follow the beacon, maybe find answers, maybe find trouble. Definitely find out if these boots are really waterproof. The machine flickers. New text. Temporal anchor weak. Boost signal recommended. You touch the screen, navigate to signal settings. It shows a map not geographical but temporal. Your timeline's a thin thread barely visible. Other threads tangle around it, thick and bright. Other timelines? Other possibilities? The physics makes your head hurt. But one thing's clear, your thread's fading. Without boost, without anchor, you might be stuck here forever. You curl up in your makeshift bed, a pile of mouldy cushions that smell like defeat. The rain's started again. Softer now. Almost soothing. You're adapting. That's the scary part. 3 days in, and this already feels normal. Wake up, survive, sleep. Repeat. How long before you stop trying to get home? How long before this becomes home? The radio static shifts just for a second. You swear you hear music. Faint. Impossible. But your brain latches onto it like a lifeline. Somewhere over the rainbow, or maybe just wishful thinking, you hum along anyway. Off-key, desperate, human. Tomorrow you chase the beacon. Tomorrow you leave safety for answers. Tomorrow might kill you. But tonight you're dry, fed, charged to 19%, still fighting. The apocalypse wants you dead, but it'll have to try harder. You've got beans, you've got maps, you've got a machine that speaks in riddles and a radio that sings ghosts. Most importantly, you've got tomorrow. In the end times, that's everything. Day 4. The body breaks. Your feet hit the floor and immediately scream betrayal. Every step feels like walking on hot glass. You peel off yesterday's socks, a mistake. The blisters have multiplied overnight, angry red bubbles mapping every mile you've walked. Some have already burst, leaving raw patches that make you hiss through clenched teeth. Your body's failing you. Perfect timing, really. The morning ritual's becoming automatic. Check supplies, ration water, ignore hunger. But today adds a new step, medical triage. You examine your feet like a field medic. 3 blisters on the left foot, 4 on the right. One looks infected yellow-green edge that spells trouble. Without proper treatment, you could be looking at blood poisoning. In 2024, that meant antibiotics and Netflix. In 2050, it means death. Your throat tightens as you stand. Not emotion your old friend asthma, creeping back like an ex who won't take the hint. The dust, stress, and yesterday's rain have conspired to inflame your airways. You wheeze slightly, try not to panic. Your rescue inhaler ran out 2 years ago, your time, not this time. You've managed without it, but that was in a world with hospitals and pharmacies that weren't tombs. The machine reads 22% power. Yesterday's brief sun did something at least. You navigate to the medical database hoping for anything useful. Instead, you get biometric irregularities detected. Cellular degradation 0.003%. Recommend immediate medical attention. Helpful. Sure, let me just pop down to the local urgent care. Oh wait, they're all dead. You need a pharmacy. Need it bad. The map shows 3 within walking distance, if you can call limping at zombie speed walking. The closest is 6 blocks north. You wrap your feet in torn t-shirt strips, double layer your socks, and pretend it helps. The machine goes on your back. The radio clips to your belt. You're a one-person parade of desperation heading into the urban graveyard. The streets tell stories you don't want to read. Abandoned cars with doors open, keys still dangling, a child's bicycle, training wheels and all, rusted into the sidewalk. Graffiti evolves as you walk from "Help us" to "God has abandoned us" to simple tally marks. Someone counted days, lots of days, then stopped at 1,247. You do quick math. 3.5 years. Someone survived 3.5 years before. What? Giving up? Getting rescued? Becoming another skeleton in a back room? The pharmacy sits on a corner, windows smashed, door hanging crooked. Wellness Pharmacy, your health is our priority. The sign mocks you. You step carefully through the entrance, glass crunching underfoot. The smell isn't as bad as you expected. Dry rot, dust, old chemicals. Most drugs were looted early, but you're learning apocalypse economics. People grabbed painkillers, antibiotics, the obvious stuff. They left the boring medications that keep you alive long term. You hit the jackpot in aisle 7. Asthma inhalers tucked behind fallen shelving. Expired 2041, but you'll take it. The first puff tastes like chemicals and salvation. Your airways relax immediately. You pocket 6 more inhalers. Might be the difference between breathing and not. The antibiotics hide in the pharmacy tech's drawer. Amoxicillin, Cipro, names you recognise. All expired, but pills last longer than labels admit. You dry swallow 2 amoxicillin immediately. Tastes like chalk and hope. The infection needs to die before it takes your foot, then your life. You're not dying from a blister. That's not how your story ends. Bandages, antiseptic, medical tape you load up like a hypochondriac's dream. Ibuprofen for the pain. Multivitamins because scurvy would be embarrassing. Glucose tablets for quick energy. You even find compression socks that might prevent future blisters. The pharmacy provides better than expected, almost like it was waiting for you. In the back office, you discover something odd. A journal, handwritten, recent for this timeline. The pharmacist kept notes after the collapse. You sit on the dusty floor and read, Day 12, power's out for good, running on generator fumes, giving away medications to anyone who asks. What's the point of licenses now? Day 45, generator died, using candles, fewer people every day. Where are they going? Day 98, alone now. Everyone's gone to the towers. They say there's power there. Government bunkers. I'm staying. Someone might need medicine. Day 156. Still here. Still waiting. If you're reading this, check the freezer. I hid the good stuff. The freezer's long dead, but you check anyway. Behind mouldy insulin, you find a cache. Morphine, epinephrine, prescription strength everything. The pharmacist's secret stash for real emergencies. You take what might help, leave what won't. Feel oddly grateful to someone you'll never meet. Your feet demand attention. You sit in the pharmacy's consultation room, door locked, and perform field surgery on yourself. Lance the blisters with a sterilised needle. Apply antibiotic ointment. Wrap each foot like you're preparing for a marathon. The pain makes you bite your lip bloody, but it's necessary. Infection's the enemy now. You can't outrun danger if you can't run. The machine beeps, 25% power. New message. Temporal drift detected, anchor point shifting, stabilization required within 7 days. 7 days. You've got a week before... What? You're stuck forever. You drift to another timeline? The machine's cryptic warnings are worse than no information. But 7 days. You can work with that. Maybe. The trip back takes twice as long. Every step's careful, measured. Your feet hurt less drugs working, but you're not pushing it. The sun breaks through clouds occasionally, and you stop each time, letting the solar charger drink light. 26%. 27%. Every percentage point matters now. You pass a hospital on the return route. Can't help but look. The emergency room doors stand open, darkness beyond. Someone spray-painted "No Hope Here" across the entrance. You believe them. Hospitals would have been ground zero when things fell apart. Too many sick people, not enough resources. You keep walking. Back at base, you properly treat your feet. Soak them in boiled water with salt. Apply fresh bandages. Take more antibiotics. The inhaler sits in your pocket like a talisman. Breathing comes easier already. Amazing how small things, air in your lungs, bandages on wounds become miracles when they're scarce. Dinner's special tonight. You found canned soup at the pharmacy. Chicken noodle, expired but sealed. You heat it over sterno, first hot meal in days. It tastes like your grandmother's cooking, if your grandmother used preservatives and sodium as primary ingredients. Doesn't matter, it's warm, it's filling, it's not beans. The radio provides dinner music static with occasional squeals that might be distant signals or might be your imagination. You've stopped caring which. Company is company, even electronic ghosts. You tell the radio about your day, about the pharmacist who stayed, about the 7-day warning, about how your feet look like hamburger but feel like progress. Night brings clarity. You're adapting, becoming harder, smarter. Your body's breaking down, but your mind's sharpening. You know where medicines hide, how to treat wounds, when to push through pain and when to rest. You're becoming what this world demands a survivor. The machine glows in the darkness. 28% now. You navigate its menus with growing familiarity. Find new options. Temporal beacon, activate. You try it. Error message. Need 50% power minimum. Of course. Everything needs what you don't have. But 50% is achievable. Maybe 3 more sunny days. You can last 3 days. You have to. You swallow evening medications, antibiotics, vitamins, pain relief. Chase them with precious water. Your feet throb in rhythm with your heartbeat, but it's healing throb, not dying throb. You know the difference now. The apocalypse is teaching you all sorts of fun distinctions. Tomorrow you'll rest. Let the medicine work. Let your feet heal. Let the sun charge your temporal lifeline. You've got 7 days to figure out the machine. 7 days to stabilize whatever's drifting. 7 days to get home. In the pharmacy journal, the writer lasted 156 days before vanishing. You only need 7. You can do 7 standing on your head, or lying down with your feet elevated, which sounds way better. The asthma inhaler sits beside you as you sleep. Such a small thing. Manufactured in some factory by people who never imagined their product would outlive their civilization. But here it is, keeping you breathing in the aftermath. You fall asleep wheezing less, hoping more. Day 4 down, 6 to go. Day 5. Fire on the roof. The morning sun hits your face like a promise. First real sunshine in days, and your solar charger practically purrs when you connect it. 31% on the machine and climbing. You'll take every photon the universe throws at you. Your feet feel almost human after yesterday's medical intervention. The antibiotics are working, no red streaks, no fever, just ugly healing doing its ugly work. You've been thinking about the beacon all night, that SOS pulse calling from downtown, but also about something else being seen. 4 days of invisibility weighs heavier than you expected. If someone's out there, they need to know you exist. Time for smoke signals, Apocalypse Edition. The student union's maintenance closet yields treasures. Gasoline in a metal can, Road flares past expiration but probably functional, and a lighter that actually works. You test it 5 times, mesmerised by the tiny flame. Fire means cooking, warmth, light, civilization. You pocket 2 more lighters because redundancy is your new religion. Climbing to the roof hurts less today. Progress. The city spreads before you in daylight, and for the first time you really see the scope of abandonment. Skyscrapers stand like tombstones. Streets form empty grids leading nowhere, but their movement, not people, birds, actual living birds circling something to the east. Where there's carrion birds, there's carrion. Where there's fresh carrion, you don't finish the thought. You build your signal fire carefully. Broken furniture from the conference room arranged in a pyramid, doused with just enough gasoline to catch but not explode. You're not trying to burn down your shelter. The road flares go in your pocket, plan B if plan A fizzles. Everything's ready. You just need the courage to light it. The match scratches, catches. You touch it to the gasoline-soaked wood and step back fast. The fire takes like it's been waiting its whole life for this moment. Flames leap up, orange and angry and beautiful. Smoke rises thick and black, definitely visible for miles. You feed it more furniture, keeping it controlled but obvious. Here I am, the smoke says, still alive, still human. Please don't be alone. You watch the horizon, count minutes. 5, 10, 20. Nothing moves except smoke and those distant birds. No answering fire, no rescue helicopter, no anything. The silence feels heavier with each passing minute. You're shouting into the void, and the void's not even echoing back. The machine interrupts your pity party. 38% power and a new message. Temporal resonance detected. Matching frequency available. Boost signal. You almost drop it in excitement. Yes. God. Yes. Boost whatever needs boosting. The screen shifts, shows a visualization your timeline thread pulsing weakly, then suddenly brightening as the machine does something. The thread's still thin, but it's glowing now, visible. That has to be good. An hour passes. Your fire burns lower. You're about to give up when you see its smoke, not yours. Miles away, near where the birds circle, someone else's signal fire. Your heart hammers. Another person. Another survivor. Someone who saw your smoke and answered. The distance looks like 5, maybe 6 miles. Doable. Tomorrow, when you're sure it's not a trap. You let your fire die naturally, saving gasoline for future signals. The other smoke continues, steady and deliberate. You watch it until sunset, memorizing the location. They're consistent, patient, human behaviors. Unless it's very smart non-humans mimicking human behavior, but that way lies madness. You choose hope. It hurts less. Back inside, you feast on canned ravioli. Cold because you're saving sterno for emergencies. It tastes like victory anyway. Someone's alive out there. Someone who knows fire and signals and waiting. Maybe they have answers. Maybe they have a working vehicle. Maybe they're just as lost and scared as you. Doesn't matter. You're not alone. The word tastes better than the ravioli. The machine hits 41% as clouds roll in. You disconnect the charger, protect it like the treasure it is. 9% to go before you can try the beacon function. You explore other menus while waiting. Find something interesting, a log file. The machine's been recording everything. Environmental data, temporal readings, even your biometrics, your heart rate, your stress hormones, your cellular degradation, up to 0.007% now, thanks for asking. One entry stops you cold. Parallel timeline incursion detected. Probability of crossover, 12%. You read it 3 times, parallel timeline, as in other versions of reality bleeding into this one. Is that what happened here? Not war or plague, but what? Reality having a breakdown? The implications make your head spin. Maybe everyone didn't die. Maybe they just shifted, went sideways into another timeline, leaving you in this empty one. Night falls heavy. You're restless, anxious. Tomorrow you'll investigate the other fire, make contact, risk everything on the chance of human connection. You clean your feet again, apply fresh bandages, check your weapons: a knife, a crowbar, harsh language. Not much against potential threats, but better than nothing. You practice your approach. Hi, I'm from the past, got a working time machine? Needs work. The radio static sounds different tonight. Patterns in the white noise that might be imagination or might be signal degradation. You tune through frequencies hunting. The SOS beacon still pulses from the east, but now there's something else. Faint. Western direction. Not Morse code. Almost like music. You strain to hear, can't make out, but it's there. 2 signals now, 2 directions, 2 choices. The other survivor's fire was south. 3 points of interest forming a triangle with you at the centre. You sketch a map on the wall with charcoal from your fire. Your base here, beacon east, music west, fire south. Tomorrow south because humans trump automated signals, but eventually you'll need to check them all. The machine wants 50% power. The timeline needs stabilizing within 6 days now. You're juggling flaming chainsaws, and you've never even juggled regular chainsaws. The antibiotics make you drowsy. Good. Sleep comes easier when your body's fighting infection instead of fighting you. You lie down, feet elevated on a chair. The machine glows beside you. 42% now. Every percent a small victory. You've made fire. Seen answer smoke, found signals in the static. Your feet are healing, your lungs work. You're disgustingly alive in a dead world, and tomorrow you'll meet another disgustingly alive person. Or die trying, but probably not die. You're getting good at the not dying thing. You dream of parallel worlds, versions where you never touch the machine, versions where everyone survived except you, versions where the coffee was better. You wake once to check the window. The distant fire still burns, steady, patient, waiting, like you. 2 flames in the darkness, calling to each other across the void. It's almost romantic if you ignore the apocalypse part. Morning can't come fast enough. You've got a date with another survivor. Better brush your teeth with bottled water and expired toothpaste. First impressions matter. Even after the world ends, especially after the world ends. You close your eyes, count heartbeats, plan approach routes, wonder if they're doing the same. 2 humans circling each other like careful animals. Tomorrow you find out if hope has teeth. The machine pulses, 43%. The timeline thread glows stronger, 6 days left. But tonight, for the first time since arriving, you don't feel alone. Somewhere out there, another person tends another fire. Somewhere music plays in static. Somewhere beacons call. The world ended, but signals remain. Humans remain. You remain. That's enough for now. That's everything. Day 6. The machine whispers. You're out the door before sunrise, driven by equal parts hope and paranoia. The other survivor's fire burned all night. You checked obsessively. Now smoke rises thin and grey in the dawn light. Kitchen fire, not signal fire. They're making breakfast. The domesticity of it hits weird. Someone's casually cooking while you're treating every meal like it might be your last. Your feet hold up surprisingly well. The compression socks work miracles, or maybe it's just adrenaline overriding pain. You've got the knife strapped to your belt, crowbar in hand, machine on your back reading 44%. The streets feel different knowing someone else walks them. Every corner could bring contact. Every shadow might have eyes. 2 miles in, you find the repair shop. Wasn't even looking for it, but the sign stops you cold. Eddie's Electronics, we fix anything. The windows are intact, doors locked, not smashed. Someone secured this place deliberately. You peer inside, tools everywhere, oscilloscopes, soldering stations, component bins. It's a time machine repair shop waiting to happen. The lock yields to your crowbar with minimal persuasion. Sorry, Eddie. Inside smells like dust and old solder flux. No decay, no bodies, just workbenches covered in half-repaired devices from before the end. Someone was fixing a tablet when they stopped mid-job. Screwdriver still resting where they left it. You pick it up. Might need it. The tool selection makes you weep actual tears. Precision screwdrivers, wire strippers, multimeters with batteries that somehow still work. You test one on the machine's power port, 44.2% exactly. The decimal points make you irrationally happy. Precision still exists. Mathematics still works. The universe hasn't completely given up. But the real treasure sits in the back room. A cellular tower repair kit complete with signal amplifiers and diagnostic equipment. More importantly, a manual. Temporal frequency calibration for emergency broadcasts. Your hands shake as you read. This isn't standard equipment. Someone was preparing for exactly this scenario. Time displacement. Timeline fractures. Eddie knew something. You spend an hour absorbing the manual. The physics hurts your brain, but the practical stuff makes sense. Temporal devices need anchor point-specific frequency signatures that identify their origin timeline. Without an anchor, you drift. With a weak anchor, you fade. With a strong anchor, you snap back like a rubber band. The machine needs to find your timeline's frequency in all this temporal noise. The solution requires height, amplitude, power. You eye the telecom tower visible through the shop skylight. 6 stories of rusted metal and forgotten satellites. If you can get the machine up there, connect it to the array. Maybe it can scream loud enough for your timeline to hear. Maybe. You load a backpack with everything useful. Cables, connectors, frequency analyzers. The manual wrapped in plastic. Eddie's shop provides like a post-apocalyptic Radio Shack. You leave an IOU note. Seems stupid, but manners matter when civilization's dead. They're all that separates you from the birds circling carrion. The other survivor's smoke still rises. Closer now. Maybe a mile. You should investigate. Make contact. But the machine pulses against your back, and the manual burns in your mind. 6 days left. No, 5.5. The countdown doesn't pause for social calls. You turn east toward the tower instead. Tomorrow. You'll find them tomorrow, if the timeline doesn't collapse first. The telecom building's lobby looks like a war zone. Furniture barricaded against doors that eventually gave way. Scattered papers cover the floor, evacuation notices, government warnings, desperate messages. You read one. Temporal anomalies increasing. Seek shelter. Avoid electronic devices. Bit late for that advice. The stairs test your healing feet. 6 flights. Your breathing goes ragged by floor 3, but the inhaler helps. You rest on floor 4, check the machine. 45%. The climbing must be generating static charge or something. You'll take it. Every percent counts when you're racing reality's breakdown. The roof access door hangs open. Wind hits immediately, carrying the smell of rust and rain. The tower looms above, a skeleton of metal and cables. Birds nest in the microwave dishes. Vines wrap the lower sections. Nature's already claiming it, but the structure's sound. Climbable. Barely. You rig a pulley system using rope from Eddie's shop. No way you're climbing with the machine on your back. It goes up first, wrapped in a tarp like the world's most important baby. You follow, trying not to think about the growing distance between you and solid ground. The metal's cold, slippery in places. Your hands cramp by the halfway point. At the top, wind tries to peel you off like a band-aid. You anchor yourself with cables, work fast. The machine's interface comes alive near the transmission equipment. New menus appear, signal strength indicators, frequency scanners, a whole hidden system activated by proximity to the right hardware. You connect cables following the manual's diagrams. Everything fits, like the machine was designed for exactly this. When you hit execute, the array hums to life. Not electrical power, something else. The machine's screen explodes with data, waveforms, frequencies, timelines branching and merging like a subway map designed by insane gods. And there, faint but distinct, a familiar pattern. Your timeline, your frequency. Home. Origin timeline fragment detected. Signal strength 0.3%. Amplification possible. Proceed. You've never hit yes faster. The tower vibrates. The machine heats up. Your fillings ache. Something's happening. The screen shows your timeline thread brightening, pulsing, reaching through dimensional static toward home. The percentage climbs 0.3%, 0.5%, 0.8%, then stops. Maximum amplification reached. Biological signature required for full synchronization. Biological signature. The manual mentioned this. The machine needs to recognize not just when you're from, but who you are. DNA. Quantum entanglement. Some sci-fi nonsense that boils down to, it needs you. Not just your button-pressing fingers. You. You try everything, palm on the screen, spit on the sensors, even a drop of blood from a scraped knuckle. Nothing. The machine wants something specific. Something you don't understand yet. The manual's no help, that section's torn out. Of course it is. Eddie probably took it with him to wherever everyone went. The sun sets while you're still trying combinations. The machine holds at 47% power. Timeline thread glowing but incomplete. You've made progress, found the frequency, strengthened the signal, but the last piece eludes you. 5 days left to figure it out. 5 days to convince the machine you're you. The climb down happens in darkness. Terrifying. Necessary. You can't camp on a radio tower. The other survivors' fire glows in the distance. Closer than this morning. They're moving too. Toward you? Away? Parallel path? You're too exhausted to investigate tonight. Tomorrow. Everything's tomorrow when today nearly kills you. Back at base, you collapse with Eddie's manual, read by flashlight until your eyes burn. The biological signature section's definitely missing, but margin notes remain. Eddie's handwriting. Consciousness pattern? Memory engrams? Emotional resonance? He was guessing too, but smart guesses. You fall asleep thinking about what makes you specifically you, not philosophically, quantumly, temporally. The machine knows your timeline. Now it needs to know your soul. No pressure. The smoke still rises in the darkness. Your maybe companion, maybe threat. Cooking another meal, living another day. You've postponed contact again, chosen the machine over mankind, but the thread glows stronger. The path home gets clearer. When you do meet them, you'll have more to offer than just shared loneliness. You'll have hope, direction, purpose. The machine whispers possibilities against your back. 47% and climbing. Tomorrow you'll solve the signature puzzle. Tomorrow you'll make contact. Tomorrow the timeline stabilizes or doesn't. But tonight you've heard the machine whisper your timeline's name. That's worth every terrifying second on that tower. Day 7. Rain and madness. Thunder cracks at 4 a.m. like God splitting firewood. You jolt awake to rain hammering the roof with violence that feels personal. Not yesterday's gentle drizzle, this is apocalypse rain. The kind that strips paint and floods worlds. Water already seeps through cracks you didn't know existed. Your careful organization dissolves into chaos as you scramble to protect everything that matters. The machine goes first. Triple wrapped in plastic bags and duct tape until it looks like survivalist origami. 48% power now, but water damage would kill it faster than a bullet. You stuff it in the highest, driest corner while rain finds new ways to invade. Through ventilation grates, under doors, between window frames that seemed solid yesterday. The building's dying and the rain's the coroner. You move everything upstairs. 3 trips through corridors turned rivers. Canned goods, medical supplies, Eddie's tools. Each load heavier as water soaks through your clothes, your shoes, your skin. By the final trip, you're shivering so hard your teeth click like typewriter keys. Hypothermia's knocking. Can't answer that door. The 3rd floor's drier but not dry. You find the old faculty lounge leather chairs gone mouldy, coffee maker rusted to abstract art. But the roof's intact. You barricade yourself in, strip off soaking clothes, Wrap in musty curtains that smell like dead professor's cologne. The machine hums beside you, safe in its plastic cocoon. You've saved the essentials, now you just need to save yourself. Lightning strobes through windows, freeze-framing the dead city in electric snapshots. In those brief illuminations, you swear you see movement, shadows that shouldn't exist, figures in the rain. Your rational brain says it's pareidolia, seeing patterns where none exist. Your exhausted brain says shut up. They're definitely ghosts. You're too cold to argue with either brain. The shivering won't stop. You need heat, fire, but everything's wet and the faculty lounge offers nothing flammable that isn't also shelter. You do jumping jacks instead, push-ups, anything to generate warmth. Your body protests every movement, but movement means heat means survival. You exercise like your life depends on it, because it does. That's when you hear it. Voices. Actual human voices. Not rain static phantoms, coming from below. Multiple people, talking, laughing. You freeze mid-jumping jack, strain to listen. The words blur with rain, but the tone's clear, casual, unafraid, like the apocalypse is a minor inconvenience. You creep to the stairwell, knife ready. The voices float up, clearer now. Told you the upper floors would be dry. Check for supplies. Someone's been here recently. Your heart hammers. Real people, plural. But your stuff's downstairs. Your carefully organised proof of life. They'll know someone's here. Know you're here. You back away from the stairs, mind racing. Hide, confront, run. The machine makes the choice. Its screen flashes a warning. Proximity alert, unknown biological signatures detected. Footsteps on the stairs. Slow, careful. Coming up. You're out of time. You position yourself behind the door, crowbar ready. Not to attack, just to defend. Maybe they're friendly. Maybe they're survivors like you. Maybe there's something worse. The footsteps stop outside your door. The handle turns. Anyone home? A woman's voice, calm, almost friendly. We saw your fire yesterday. Just want to talk. You don't answer. Can't answer. Your throat's locked shut with cold and fear. Look, she continues, we know you're here. Your stuff's downstairs, very organised, very alone. We're not here to hurt you. Just, the rain's bad. We need shelter. You need people. Maybe we can help each other. The logic's sound, but trusting means risk. The door pushes open slowly. You raise the crowbar, then lower it as you see her. Middle-aged, weathered, wearing a rain poncho that's seen better decades. Behind her, two others, a teenage boy and an old man. They look tired, wet, human. Hi, you croak out. First word to another person in 7 days. Sounds rusty. I'm from 2024. The woman blinks. You're what now? The explanation tumbles out. The machine, the time jump, the empty world. They listen with expressions ranging from skepticism to pity. The boy finally speaks. Dude, you know it's 2050, right? Like we've been here the whole time. Your world tilts. But everyone's gone. The city's empty. The old man laughs, not unkindly. Empty? Nah, just spread out, moved underground mostly. The fractures made surface living rough. Fractures? Temporal fractures, the woman explains. Started in 47. Reality got thin, people slipping between timelines. Most fled to the shelters. Some of us stayed topside. Scavengers, holdouts, idiots. Your brain struggles to process. Not extinction, just evacuation. You've been mourning a world that simply moved downstairs. The loneliness hits different now, self-imposed rather than absolute. You could have found people days ago if you'd looked in the right places. The machine you manage. It brought me here. I need to get back. They exchange glances. The woman shrugs. Temporal tech's tricky. Most of it got banned after the fractures, but she eyes your wrapped device. Eddie's shop might have parts, if you haven't already raided it. I was there yesterday. Then you met our smoke signals. We used the shop as a waypoint. Trade depot, neutral ground. She extends a hand. I'm Sarah. This is Marcus and Ben. We're heading to the underground tomorrow. You could come. The invitation hangs between you. Safety, community, answers. But the machine pulses against your side. 4 days left. The timeline thread waiting. Home pulling you backward while this new truth pushes forward. I need to think, you say. Sarah nods. Fair. We'll be downstairs, plenty of room. And hey, she tosses you something. A thermal blanket, silver and crinkling. You're hypothermic. Won't think straight until you're warm. They leave you wrapped in silver, shivering with more than cold. Everything you believed shattered like rain on concrete. Not alone, never alone, just blind. The voices drift up from below casual conversation about food supplies and tomorrow's route. Normal apocalypse chatter. You unwrap the machine, still 48%, still waiting for biological signature. But now you wonder which biology? The you from 2024 or the you that spent a week becoming someone else? The machine knows your timeline but needs to know you, and you're not sure who that is anymore. The rain continues its assault. You wrap tighter in the thermal blanket, feeling heat return slowly. Real heat, real blanket, real people downstairs. But the hallucinations from earlier, were they fractures? Other timelines bleeding through? Other versions of you walking these same halls, making different choices? You talk to the machine. Tell it about Sarah and the underground and the fractures. About Eddie's shop being a trading post. About being wrong for 7 days straight. It doesn't respond, but talking helps. Keeps the madness at bay. Keeps you centered in this timeline, this moment, this peculiar reality where the apocalypse has suburbs. Night falls invisible behind storm clouds. The voices below settle into sleep sounds. You should join them. Be human. Be social. Be warm. But the machine needs solving, and 4 days feels like nothing now. You study Eddie's manual by flashlight. The biological signature pages are still missing, but Sarah might know. The underground might have answers. Other temporal refugees who've made similar jumps. You're not special. That's the revelation that breaks you. Not the last man on Earth. Not humanity's final witness. Just another displaced person in a world full of displacement. The tears come unexpected and unstoppable. Relief, disappointment, confusion. 7 days of survival mode crashing into the reality that survival was never the real challenge. The machine flickers. New message. Multiple timeline convergence detected. Stabilization critical. 96 hours remaining. 4 days. 4 days to choose between the world you left and the world that actually exists. 4 days to solve biological signatures and timeline threads. 4 days to decide if home means when you started or who you've become. The rain hammers its rhythm. You wrap in silver and questions. Tomorrow you'll talk to Sarah properly. Learn about the underground. Maybe find those missing manual pages. Tonight you sit with the beautiful, terrible knowledge that you're not alone. Never were. Just lost in your own assumptions while the world adapted without you. Day 8. The last battery. Sarah's crew leaves at dawn, but not before sketching you a map. Electronics graveyard, she calls it. What used to be Best Buy. Picked it clean of food years ago, but the tech stuff's mostly untouched. Might find what you need. She pauses at the door. Underground entrance is marked with a blue X if you change your mind. We'll wait 2 days. 2 days? You've got 4 until the timeline collapses. Maybe taking you with it. The machine reads 48% power, holding steady but not climbing. The rain stopped overnight, leaving streets flooded and the air thick with petrichor impossibilities. You need power. Real power. Enough to push past 50% and activate whatever beacon function might save you. The walk to Best Buy takes an hour through knee-deep water in places. Your feet, finally healed, protest the moisture but hold up. The city looks different knowing people hide beneath it. Every manhole cover might be a doorway. Every subway grate could shelter families. You've been walking on top of civilization, not through its corpse. The store squats like a dead whale. Parking lot now a lake reflecting grey sky. The signs faded but readable. Windows are smashed, but not recently. The glass edges are weathered smooth. Inside, darkness waits with the patience of abandoned retail. You click on your flashlight and wade in. Sarah was right about the food. Empty shelves in what was once the snack section. But the electronics area looks like a techno graveyard frozen in time. Laptops scattered like playing cards. Tablets cracked but potentially salvageable. Gaming consoles that'll never game again. And behind the Geek Squad counter batteries, dozens of laptop batteries pulled from machines and abandoned when the power grid died. You test them systematically with the multimeter from Eddie's shop. Most are completely dead, chemical reactions long expired. But lithium-ion batteries are weird. Some hold charge in partial cells even after years. You find 12 that show voltage. Not much, maybe 20 to 30% capacity each, but combined, that could work. The real treasure hides in the repair bay, a soldering station somehow still functional with its own battery backup. Boxes of connectors, spools of wire. You've struck gold in the currency of desperate improvisation. You spread the salvageable batteries on the counter, plan your approach, series for voltage, parallel for capacity. Need to balance the load, prevent cascade failure. Your physics professor would be proud or horrified, probably both. 3 hours later, you've birthed a monster. 12 batteries linked with speaker wire and hope, housed in a tablet case held together with duct tape and prayer. It's ugly. It's dangerous. It's connected to the machine through cables that definitely weren't designed for this. But when you flip the makeshift switch, the machine drinks deep. 49%, 50%, 51%. The screen explodes with new options. Beacon mode available, diagnostic suite unlocked, biological calibration ready. Your hands shake as you navigate. So many menus, so many possibilities. You select diagnostics first, need to understand what you're dealing with. The machine scans itself, then you, then the environment. Data streams past temporal displacement coefficients, quantum entanglement percentages, cellular degradation metrics. Most of it's gibberish, but one line stands out. User timeline coherence, 82% and falling. You're not just running out of time, you're literally becoming less connected to your original timeline. Fading like a photocopy of a photocopy. Biological calibration next. The screen shifts to show a human outline you apparently. Biometric points glow red, fingerprints, retinal pattern, DNA markers, but also stranger measurements. Consciousness waveform, memory engram density, temporal signature variance. The machine doesn't just need your body, it needs your essence. Whatever makes you uniquely you across all possible timelines. You try fingerprints first. Press your thumb to the screen. It scans, beeps, shows 15% match. Not enough. Retinal scan next. You stare into the camera until your eyes water. 23% match. Better, but not sufficient. The DNA sample requirement makes you pause. How do you give DNA to a machine? Spit on it? Bleed on it? You try both. Saliva on the sensor. Drop of blood from a pricked finger. The machine processes, thinks, delivers its verdict. 31% match. Still failing. You're about to give up when you notice the consciousness waveform indicator pulsing. It spikes when you're frustrated. Dips when you're calm. The machine's reading your emotional state. An idea forms. Insane. Probably wrong. But you're out of normal options. You place both hands on the machine. Close your eyes. Think about home. Really think. Your apartment with the leaky faucet. Your cat who's probably dead now. The coffee shop where you graded papers. The life you left behind without meaning to. The machine responds. Percentage climbing. 35%, 40%. You dig deeper. Remember your mother's voice. Your ex's laugh. The taste of your favourite beer. Every sensory memory that makes your timeline real. 45%, 50%. Your first day teaching, your worst heartbreak. Your small triumphs and epic failures, 60%, 70%. Biological signature incomplete. Temporal anchor memory required. Temporal anchor memory. The moment you left. You reconstruct it perfectly. The lab at night. Coffee going cold, the machine humming. Your finger reaching out, touching the surface. The instant everything changed. You hold that memory, feed it to the machine. Feel it examine every detail. Biological signature accepted. Calibration complete. User identified, Dr. Elias Vance. Timeline Prime 2024 7739. You have a serial number. Your timeline has a designation. You're not just any Elias Vance, you're a specific one from a specific stream of reality. The machine knows you now, really knows you. The question is, what does it do with that knowledge? New options appear. Initiate return sequence? Yes. God, yes. But also, warning, timeline stabilization required. Premature return may result in temporal scatter. You need the full procedure, need the beacon, need whatever stabilization means. 3 days left to figure it out. You're so focused on the screen you almost miss the sound. Footsteps, multiple sets. Coming into the store, you kill your flashlight, crouch behind the counter. The voices are young, teens maybe, scavengers like you looking for treasures in the tech waste. Swear I saw light. Probably just reflection. Check anyway, might be good stuff. They move through the store casually, unafraid. These aren't desperate survivors. They're kids who grew up post-fracture, treating the dead world like their personal playground. They find your battery monster before they find you. Whoa, someone's been busy. Is someone trying to power something? We should tell Marcus. Might be another temporarily displaced. Another? You're not the first. Of course you're not. How many people touch things they shouldn't have? How many got thrown forward, backward, sideways through time? You stand slowly, hands visible. The 3 teens don't even flinch. Hey, the tallest one says. You're the guy from yesterday. Sarah mentioned you. From 2024, right? You nod. They seem fascinated rather than frightened. Cool, I'm Jake. This is Aria and Moss. We're from 2048, 2045 and here, respectively. It's like a temporal refugee camp down below. You should really come see. The invitation tempts. A whole community of displaced people, shared experiences, maybe solutions. But the machine pulses at 52% power. Biological signature locked, ready for the next phase. 3 days. You can spare 1 to learn, then 2 to execute. Maybe. Tomorrow, you promise. I need to finish something first. They shrug, used to temporal refugees and their obsessions. Blue X marks the entrance. Ask for Sarah or Marcus. They'll get you sorted. They leave you to your work, taking nothing, disturbing nothing. Kids raised in ruins know the etiquette of shared scavenging. Alone again, you review what you've learned. The machine knows you, accepts you, has power for basic functions. But timeline stabilization remains a mystery. The beacon waits at 50% power, tempting but dangerous without proper preparation. You need those missing manual pages. Need to understand what stabilization means. The battery pack holds steady. Your improvised engineering works, at least for now. 52% and holding. You've crossed the threshold, passed the test. The machine recognizes you across time and space, knows exactly which reality you belong to. Now you just need to convince it to send you back. 3 days, a community below, answers maybe, hope definitely. The hardest part's done. You've proved you're you, now prove you deserve to go home. Day 9. The code in the static. The blue X glows faintly in pre-dawn darkness. Spray paint on concrete, marking the entrance to humanity's new home. You've been staring at it for 10 minutes, machine heavy on your back, knowing you should go down, learn, connect, be human. Instead, you turn east toward the broadcast tower. 2 days left after today. No time for field trips, no matter how educational. The streets tell different stories now that you know people walk them. Fresh footprints in mud. A shopping cart abandoned yesterday, not years ago. Graffiti that includes dates from last week. The city's not dead, just nocturnal. You wonder how many eyes track your movement from basement windows and subway grates. The watched feeling follows you 6 blocks to the tower. KQED Public Radio. The building stands like a monument to dead airwaves. You remember their pledge drives, always interrupting the good shows. Now you'd pay anything to hear someone asking for donations. The front door hangs open, not forced, just abandoned, like someone walked out mid-sentence and never finished their thought. Inside, the station preserved itself in dust. Mixing boards sleep under grey blankets of neglect. Microphones wait for voices that won't come. You pass Studio A where someone taped a sign. Final broadcast, March 22nd, 47, stay safe, stay human. 3 years into the fractures, they held on longer than most. The transmission room lives on the 4th floor. Your legs protest too many stairs lately, too much climbing. But the equipment up here makes your heart race. Professional-grade transmitters, signal processors, antenna arrays reaching into dead sky, and in the corner, beautiful as a sunrise, a spectrum analyzer still powered by emergency batteries. Its screen shows electromagnetic noise, the universe's background hum visualized in dancing peaks and valleys. You connect the machine carefully. The 52% power holds steady, your battery monster still functioning. The interface recognizes the broadcasting equipment immediately. New menus bloom like digital flowers. Temporal echolocation. Timeline frequency isolation. Quantum signature broadcast. You're speaking the machine's native language now. The manual from Eddie's shop mentioned temporal echoes, fragments of timeline signatures that linger in quantum foam like fingerprints on glass. Every timeline broadcasts its own frequency, usually too faint to detect, but with the right equipment, the right conditions, you can capture echoes of your origin point. The machine needs to hear your timeline calling, needs proof it still exists. You start with wideband reception. The analyzer shows everything: AM, FM, shortwave, microwave, even cosmic background radiation. It's noise to human ears, but data to the machine. You begin recording, letting the station's equipment capture 2 hours of pure electromagnetic chaos. The machine drinks in, processing, sorting, searching for familiar patterns. An hour in, you notice structure in the static. Repetitions, rhythms, almost like music if music was made of mathematics and desperation. The analyzer shows these patterns clustering around specific frequencies: 2.4 GHz, 5.8 GHz, wavelengths that correspond to human technology, ghost signals from devices that once filled the spectrum with chatter. The machine agrees. Temporal resonance detected, analyzing. The screen fills with waveforms, each representing a different timeline signature. Most are thick, healthy lines, timelines that never fractured. But there, thin as spider silk, your timeline. Prime 2000, 24/7000, 739. It pulses weakly, like a dying heartbeat in the quantum noise. You fine-tune the reception, focusing on that fragile thread. The station's equipment helps, designed for pulling clear signal from static. Slowly, the thread strengthens, not healthy, but visible, trackable. The machine maps its quantum coordinates, building a roadmap through dimensional space. This is what it needed. Not just your biological signature, but your timeline's voice. Proof your reality still exists somewhere in the quantum foam. Origin timeline echo captured. Signal lock 73%. Recommend immediate beacon activation. Your hands hover over the controls. Immediate. But Sarah's warning echoes. Premature return could mean temporal scatter. What does that mean? Arriving in pieces, in different years? Not arriving at all? The machine offers no clarification. Just urgency disguised as options. You need those missing manual pages. Need to understand stabilization. The underground might have answers, but visiting means losing precious hours, time you don't have, unless... The radio station has a library, walls of technical manuals, outdated but thorough. You search frantically. Broadcast engineering, quantum mechanics, temporal theory jackpot. A whole shelf dedicated to timeline research, published right before the fractures. You pulled book after book, skimming for anything about stabilization. Found it. Temporal Stabilization in Multiple Timeline Convergence Events by Dr. Sarah Chen. Your Dr. Chen? Has to be. You devour the pages. Stabilization means anchoring not just to your timeline but to your specific moment within it. Without stabilization, you might return to the right timeline but the wrong time. Could materialize years before you left, or after, or simultaneously at multiple points, which sounds exactly as pleasant as temporal scatter. The process requires 3 elements: origin, timeline echo, check; biological signature, check; and temporal anchor point. That last one's the kicker. You need something from your exact moment of departure, something quantum entangled with that specific instant. The machine recorded your departure. It knows when you left, but it needs physical proof, an object, a marker, something that exists in both moments. You check your pockets, wallet from 2024, keys from 2024. But these versions are 2 weeks older now. Quantum signatures shifted by your time here. Then you remember. The coffee. Your mug in the lab, still warm when you touch the machine. Still sitting on your desk in 2024. The machine scanned it during departure, the data's in its memory. But you need the physical mug to complete the circuit. Except the mug's here too, or will be, or was. Time travel hurts your brain. You race back to the university, to your lab. The mug sits exactly where you left it, 26 years of dust coating, world's okayest professor. You lift it reverently. Inside, a coffee fossil. The dregs evaporated decades ago, leaving rings like tree circles marking time. Back at the station, you present the mug to the machine like an offering. It scans eagerly, compares quantum signatures, the mug from now and the mug from then, separated by decades but connected by causality. The percentage climbs: 80%, 85%, 90%. Temporal anchor recognized, stabilization possible. Warning: procedure requires full power. Current power 52%, minimum required 75%. Of course, it's never easy. You need 23% more power. The solar charger might provide 5% on a perfect day. The battery pack's tapped out. You need another source. Something powerful. Something immediate. The station's emergency batteries sing their siren song. Enough power there for days of broadcasting. Surely enough for one trip home. You wire the connection with shaking hands. This is theft. Grand Theft Temporal. The station's dead anyway, right? The batteries spark as you connect them. The machine purrs approval. 55%, 60%, 65%. Your improvised engineering holds barely. Wires heat. Connection strain. 70%, 72%, 74%. 1 more percent. The batteries wheeze their last. Solar charger contributes its trickle. You even try rubbing the machine like a genie lamp. Desperation makes idiots of everyone. Then inspiration, the spectrum analyzer. Its batteries are separate, newer. You cannibalize it apologetically. The machine hits 75% just as the analyzer dies. Perfect timing or cosmic joke, you're too tired to care. Full stabilization available. Timeline echo strong. Biological signature locked. Temporal anchor confirmed. Initiate return sequence. Your finger hovers over yes. Tomorrow you promised Jake and Arya. Tomorrow you'd visit the underground. But tomorrow's a luxury you can't afford. The timeline thread weakens with each hour. Your coherence drops. The window's closing. It's now or it's never. But first, one last recording. You set the machine to transmit, not receive. Broadcasting on all frequencies, sending a message to anyone listening. This is Dr. Elias Vance, temporal displacement survivor. The machine works. The timeline echoes are real. Look for the patterns in the static. You can go home. Maybe someone will hear it. Maybe another lost soul will find hope in electromagnetic noise. Maybe it's just vanity, wanting to leave a mark. Doesn't matter. You've left instructions. Eddie would approve. The button waits. Yes glows green and inviting. 2 days early but fully stabilised, no scatter, no drift, just home. Your finger touches the screen. The world holds its breath. The static sings your timeline's song. Time to find out if the universe keeps its promises. Day 10. The button that brought me home. You don't sleep. Can't sleep. The machine hums at 75% power all night, ready to tear a hole through time and push you through it. You spend the darkness writing notes on walls with charcoal, instructions for future temporal refugees, maps to Eddie's shop, warnings about timeline decay. Maybe someone will read them. Maybe they'll help. Maybe you're just afraid to leave without saying goodbye to a world that never knew you were here. Dawn breaks grey and uncertain. You pack nothing. Take nothing. Everything you own belongs to this timeline now. The clothes, the tools, the hard-won knowledge of survival. Only the machine comes with you, still strapped to your back like mechanical wings. You've decided to return from where you arrived, the lab. Close the circle, make it poetic, make it mean something. The walk across campus feels different knowing it's the last. You memorize details, the tree growing through the library steps, the car with doors rusted open, eternal invitation to nowhere. Derek's store in the distance, Sarah's smoke signals, probably wondering where you went. The underground entrance marked blue, full of people you'll never meet. You're abandoning a whole community of temporal exiles, but staying means abandoning yourself. The physics building waits patiently. Your footsteps echo in familiar halls, past the vending machine you raided day one, past the bathroom where you had your first apocalypse cry, up the stairs to the 3rd floor, your lab, ground zero, the doors still open, like you left it 10 days and 26 years ago. Inside, morning light streams through broken windows. Your desk sits under decades of dust. The coffee mug's gone, you took it yesterday, but its ring remains on the wood. A perfect circle, another closed loop. You clear a space in the centre of the room, sit cross-legged, place the machine in front of you like an altar. The interface glows, all green lights, all systems optimal. Return sequence ready. Timeline, Prime 2024 7739. Temporal coordinates, 11:47 p.m, October 13th, 2024. Biological signature, confirmed, stabilization, active. Everything you need, everything you wanted. So why are your hands shaking? You think about the people below. Jake from 2048, 3 years younger than you but decades ahead. Arya from 2045, who talked about temporal displacement like discussing the weather. Marcus and Ben and Sarah, building new lives in the ruins of the old. They adapted, survived, thrived even. Part of you wants to join them, learn their stories, share yours, build something in the underground dark. But that's not your story. Your story is a cat who needs feeding, students who need teaching, a life that needs living in the time you're meant to live it. You belong to 2024 like a puzzle piece that only fits one spot. Forcing yourself into 2050 means leaving a hole in your original timeline. Someone noticed you were gone. Someone worried. Someone grieved. You owe them a return. The machine pulses. Temporal window optimal, quantum conditions favourable. Initiate? It's getting impatient, or maybe excited. Hard to read emotions in LED displays. You place both hands on the interface, feel it scan you one final time, confirming you're still you. Still the same Elias Vance who touched it 10 days ago, even if everything else has changed. You've changed. That's the part that hurts. 10 days of survival carved away the soft parts, left you harder, smarter, more grateful for small things like clean water and working lungs. Will that follow you back? Or will you wake up in 2024 and forget, dismiss it all as a vivid dream? The machine can move your body through time. Can't guarantee your mind makes the same journey intact. Wait, you say out loud. The machine pauses, confused by verbal commands. You need one more moment. Need to make this real. You pull out your knife, the one that's opened cans and cut bandages and given you comfort in dark nights. You carve into the desk. Evie was here, 2050. The future needs work, but humanity survives. Let future archaeologists puzzle over that. Back to the machine. The button throbs with possibility. Your finger hovers. You think about the Eden Project mentioned in Graffiti, the underground cities, the casual way those kids talked about temporal refugees. This world broken, fractured, reorganised, it works. People found ways to live, even thrive, in the aftermath of reality's breakdown. There's hope here. Strange hope, but hope nonetheless. But it's not your hope to witness. Your hope lives in 2024, in prevention maybe, in warning definitely, in living with the weight of knowing how fragile timeline stability really is. You've seen the future. Now you need to return to the past and figure out what to do with that knowledge. Okay, you whisper. Take me home. You press the button. The world doesn't explode, doesn't flash white, doesn't even hiccup. Instead, it sighs. That same cosmic exhale from 10 days ago, but in reverse. The air thickens, colours bleed, sounds stretch like taffy. You feel yourself coming apart, not painfully, just thoroughly. Every atom catalogued and tagged for reassembly. The machine hums victory as reality folds. For a moment, eternal instant, you exist everywhere. Every timeline, every possibility. You see yourself taking Sarah's offer, disappearing underground. See yourself staying in 2050, becoming the hermit of the ruins. See yourself never touching the machine at all. Infinite Eliases making infinite choices. Then the moment passes, the machine chooses, selects one thread from the quantum tangle, pulls. Gravity returns like a slap. So does breathing, so does linear time. You gasp, lungs burning with air that tastes different. Processed, recycled, modern. Your eyes fly open. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead, working lights, powered lights, civilization lights. You're on the floor, same lab, but the dust is gone. The windows intact, the world alive. Your phone buzzes. You grab it with shaking hands. 12:48 a.m. October 14th, 2024. 1 hour. You've been gone 1 hour. Your coffee sits on the desk, still steaming, still warm. You laugh. Or sob. Maybe both. The machine sits beside you, powered down, innocent as a paperweight. Like it didn't just drag you through hell and back. You stand on legs that remember climbing. Check feet that remember blisters. Your clothes the same clothes you wore 10 days ago, not the scavenged rags you'd grown used to. But your hands are different. Scarred, weathered. Nails torn from opening cans. A cut on your palm from that first day's glass. Physical proof you didn't imagine it. The backpack materializes beside you as you watch. Your survivor's pack. Canned peaches from 2050. Duct tape that held your life together. An inhaler that expired in 2041. The machine brought back what you carried. Proof. Evidence. Testimony that somewhere, somewhen, Derek still guards his store and Sarah tends her signal fires. Dr. Chen walks in, coffee in hand. Oh, you're still here? I thought I heard something. You okay? You look. She pauses. Different. You almost laugh. Different. Yeah, you've aged 10 days in 1 hour, seen humanity's future. Learned the weight of being truly alone. Discovered you can survive anything but would rather not have to. Different doesn't begin to cover it. Just tired, you manage. Think I'll head home? She nods, already moving to her desk. Don't forget to submit those midterm grades, due Monday. Midterm grades. You'd forgotten those existed. Forgotten the mundane pressures of normal life. They seem impossibly trivial now, but also precious. Beautiful even. The luxury of worrying about deadlines instead of dehydration. You'll submit the grades, probably give everyone A's. They've earned it just by existing in a stable timeline. You pack up slowly. The machine goes in your bag. You're not leaving it here for another curious fool. Or maybe you are that fool, destined to touch it again someday. Time loops are confusing. The peaches go in too. Evidence for later when you start doubting your own memory. The inhaler stays in your pocket. Talisman, reminder. Promise that breathing is never guaranteed. Outside, the world assaults you with life. Cars humming, streetlights glowing, a couple arguing about something meaningless and vital. You breathe it all in, the pollution, the noise, the messy, chaotic beauty of civilization not yet fractured. You've got 23 years before the troubles start. 23 years to maybe make a difference. Or maybe just to appreciate what everyone else takes for granted. You walk home through streets that will one day flood, past buildings that will grow vines, under sky that will go silent. But not tonight. Tonight it all works. Tonight you're home. Tonight you survived the unsurvivable and returned to tell no one because who would believe you? The machine weighs nothing in your bag. Light as hope. Heavy as knowledge. You'll study it. Carefully. Learn its secrets without triggering its function. Write warnings. Prepare. Do something with the terrible gift of foresight. But first, you'll feed your cat. Take a hot shower. Sleep in a real bed. Mundane miracles you've earned with blood and blisters. 10 days. 240 hours. 14,400 minutes of survival, all compressed into 1 hour of absence that no one noticed. You're the same Elias Vance who left, except you're not. Can't be. The future lives in your scars now. Time travel isn't just moving through years, it's carrying those years back with you. Heavy and permanent as the machine on your back. You unlock your apartment. Your cat meows indignantly. Everything exactly as you left it 1 hour and 10 days ago. You're home. You made it. The circle's closed, the story's ended. Except stories like this don't end. They hibernate. Wait. The machine hums softly in your bag. Satisfied but not finished. Never finished. Time's funny that way. Always moving forward. Sometimes jumping back. Occasionally sideways into possibilities that shouldn't exist but do. You feed the cat, check the date again. Still 2024, still home, still impossible. You survived the future. Now you just have to survive the present, knowing what's coming. One day at a time, one timeline at a time, one carefully documented miracle at a time. You sit in your apartment at 1:47 a.m, October 14th, 2024. The machine rests quietly in your closet, powered down but not forgotten. Your hands still carry scars from 10 days that lasted only an hour. The canned peaches from 2050 sit on your counter, impossible proof of an impossible journey. 23 years until the fractures begin. 23 years to live with the weight of knowing what's coming. You survived the empty future, found other survivors in the underground, learned that humanity adapts even when reality breaks. You touched a machine you shouldn't have touched, lived 10 days you shouldn't have lived, and made it home through sheer determination and 75% battery power. Your cat doesn't care about temporal displacement. She just wants dinner. You feed her with hands that opened cans in the apocalypse, grateful for the simple act of not rationing. Outside, the city hums with life that will one day go silent. But not today. Today you're home. Today the timeline holds. Today you submit those midterm grades and pretend everything's normal. The future needs work, but humanity survives. Derek's skeleton taught you that. Sarah's signal fires proved it. The underground community of temporal refugees confirmed it. You're not special, just another lost soul who found their way back. Another survivor with a story no one would believe. Tomorrow you'll live your normal life with abnormal knowledge, grade papers, make coffee, appreciate functioning toilets and running water like the miracles they are. The machine stays hidden, waiting for the next curious fool. The scars fade but never disappear. And somewhere in 2050, Sarah still tends her fire. The underground thrives, and the world continues despite everything. You survived 10 days in the end. Now it's time to survive the present, one beautifully boring day at a time. If you enjoyed this temporal survival story, hit that subscribe button for more what-if scenarios every week. From zombie outbreaks to alien invasions, we explore humanity's determination to survive the impossible. Like this video if you think you could last 10 days in 2050 with nothing but expired snacks and determination. Comment below, would you press the button to come home or stay to help rebuild? These stories are fiction, but they remind us that humans are tougher than we think. We adapt, we survive, we find hope in the strangest places. Subscribe now for next week's story, 30 Days Alone on a Dead Space Station. Because if we're imagining survival scenarios, why not make them interstellar? Until then, stay curious, stay prepared, and definitely check any strange machines for instruction manuals before touching them.